Hello to all viewers. Welcome to another fascinating video on our channel. Today, we will take a look at the most terrifying shipwrecks in history that shook the world and left us with chills down our spines. Get ready for gripping stories and unforgettable moments that have remained etched in our memories forever. Number 1. Titanic, symbol of tragedy at sea. The Titanic was a luxury steamship constructed between 1909 and 1912, gaining fame through its ill-fated voyage and tragic sinking on its maiden journey. It was regarded as the largest and most luxurious ship of its time. Built at the Harland and Wolff shipyards in Belfast, the Titanic belonged to the Olympic class, which also included its sister ships, the Olympic and Britannic. Setting sail from Southampton on April 10, 1912, the Titanic was bound for New York. However, on April 14, 1912, during this voyage, the Titanic struck an iceberg in the North Atlantic and sank. Approximately 1,500 people perished in the disaster, making it one of the most tragic maritime catastrophes in history. Several factors contributed to the sinking, including high-speed navigation in close proximity to icebergs, an insufficient number of lifeboats for all passengers and crew, and inadequately equipped means for iceberg detection. This catastrophe prompted the adoption of numerous changes in maritime safety measures, such as improved iceberg detection equipment, increased lifeboat capacity, and enhanced communication systems at sea. The Titanic became a symbol of human confidence in the invincibility of technological progress and also served as a warning against overconfidence in maritime safety. Number 2. Doña Paz, the greatest maritime disaster in peacetime. The MV Dona Paz was a Philippine passenger ship that became part of one of the worst maritime disasters in history. The incident occurred on December 20, 1987, when the MV Dona Paz collided with the cargo ship MV Vector in the waters between the islands of Leyte and Mindoro in the Philippines. Officially, there were reported to be 1,500 to 1,800 people on board the MV Dona Paz, but in reality, there were many more. The exact number of casualties is unknown, but it is estimated that nearly all 4,000 people on both ships perished. The accident happened at night, and because the ship was not equipped with an adequate number of life-saving equipment and safety measures, many people lost their lives in the water. The causes of the accident included poor communication between the ships and violations of safety regulations. This tragedy sparked numerous discussions about maritime safety and led to the implementation of measures to improve regulations and safety in the Philippines. The MV Dona Paz remains one of the largest maritime disasters in history. Number 3. SS Eastland, a story that unfolded on shallow waters. The SS Eastland was an American passenger ship that became the site of one of the most tragic maritime disasters in United States history. The accident occurred on July 24, 1915 in Chicago, as the ship was preparing for an excursion on the Chicago River to support a company picnic for employees of the Western Electric Company. The ship had a capacity for 2,500 passengers, but due to the large number of passengers on board and improper weight distribution, it experienced critical instability. With passengers on board, the ship tilted to one side and eventually capsized near the harbor. A total of 844 people lost their lives, making it the worst maritime disaster to affect Lake Michigan. The causes of the accident were attributed to the inadequate design of the ship and flaws in its construction. Following the disaster, extensive investigations took place, leading to changes in regulations related to maritime safety. The SS Eastland was later salvaged and repaired but was never operated again as a passenger ship. Number 4. MV Wilhelm Gustloff, the greatest maritime disaster in history. The MV Wilhelm Gustloff was a German passenger and military transport ship built in 1937. Originally designed as a luxury cruiser for the Kraft durch Freude (KDF) program, which was a recreational initiative of Nazi Germany, it was repurposed for military use after the outbreak of World War II. On January 30, 1945, during Operation Hannibal, the MV Wilhelm Gustloff was utilized for the evacuation of German civilians, soldiers, and refugees from East Prussia fleeing the advancing Soviet forces. The ship had a capacity of around 1,400 passengers, but due to the emergency situation, approximately 10,600 people were loaded on board. On January 30, 1945, the ship was torpedoed by the Soviet submarine S-13 in the Baltic Sea. The torpedo hit led to the rapid sinking of the vessel. The tragedy occurred in extremely cold conditions, and many passengers who did not escape to lifeboats perished in the icy waters. It was estimated that around 9,000 people lost their lives during the sinking of the MV Wilhelm Gustloff, making it the deadliest maritime disaster in history. This tragedy was often overshadowed by other events of World War II, but has become a significant moment in wartime history and civilian evacuations. Number 5. Estonia, submarine disaster in the Baltic Sea. The MS Estonia was a Swedish ferry that was commissioned in 1980 for the transportation of vehicles and passengers between the Estonian capital Tallinn and the Swedish city of Stockholm. The ship was considered one of the most modern and fastest ferries of its time. On September 28, 1994, during a crossing of the Baltic Sea, the MS Estonia began to experience serious issues in turbulent weather. Strong winds and high waves caused the cargo on board to shift, tilting the ship to one side. As a result, the bow visor doors opened, allowing water to enter the cargo hold, leading to uncontrollable listing of the vessel. Within a few minutes, the MS Estonia sank. A total of 852 people perished, making this incident the deadliest maritime disaster in the modern history of the Baltic Sea. The causes of the accident were later attributed to a combination of poor design of the bow visor doors and extreme weather conditions. Following the disaster, extensive investigations took place, leading to changes in safety regulations for ferries. The MS Estonia tragedy remains one of the most significant maritime accidents in European waters. Number 6. Costa Concordia, sinking in the Tyrrhenian Sea. Costa Concordia was an Italian luxury cruise ship that became the subject of one of the biggest maritime disasters in recent history. On January 13, 2012, during its voyage in the Tyrrhenian Sea near the Italian island of Giglio, the ship struck a rock. The incident resulted in a severe tilt of the vessel and gradual sinking. Owned by Costa Crociere, the ship was carrying nearly 4,000 passengers and crew members. The ship's captain, Francesco Schettino, attempted to approach the coast too closely, causing a collision with underwater rocks. During the disaster, 32 lives were lost among both passengers and crew. The case garnered significant media attention and led to the captain being charged with negligence and abandoning the ship before ensuring the safety of all passengers. Francesco Schettino was later sentenced to 16 years in prison for his role in the catastrophe. Subsequently, an extensive operation was carried out to remove the wreckage of the ship. Costa Concordia was gradually uprighted and towed away from the coast. Following this tragedy, Safety regulations for navigation near shores were modified to prevent similar accidents in the future. Costa Concordia remains a reminder of how human behavior failure and disregard for safety standards can have tragic consequences in the maritime transportation sector. Those were the stories of the most horrifying maritime disasters in history. We appreciate your comments and opinions on these tragic events. If the video provided you with valuable information, let us know by pressing the like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more compelling stories. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.